What's going on? Can you hear me okay? I'm sure that there'll be somebody just popping in and wondering what's happening. The reason that I wanted to touch base with you is because on Mondays from now on, we are having a highlight of the week. And this particular Monday, we're shining a light on our beautiful designer parchment. So I wanted to show you what's going on here. This is half price for the whole week, plus, of course, your club discount. So if I show you what we're looking at, this is designer parchment, Northern Lights. This is designer parchment, Indian Summer. There are 4 different sets in this particular offer. Shenandoah, that's the lovely landscapey one, and then Rainbow River. So these 4 sets, what you'll see is these are 8 by 8 inches. They are 48 sheets. There are 12 different designs within each one. And they're just beautiful designer parchment, half price. Fantastic price, actually. So if you're into parching or stamping, these are just a beautiful surface to work on. I wanted to show you a couple of examples of just how it works, just to keep it simple. Let me show you, for example, this is a Groovi example. So if we go here, you can see this piece has already been cut from, this is Indian Summer, if I'm not mistaken. You can see as soon as you lay it down on copy paper, so I pico cut it out at the same time, you can see that it really brightens it up. That's the thing about parchment, it's translucent, isn't it? So if, for example, I turn this over, then you'll see that this is the shiny side, which is, to all intents and purposes, the back of the parchment. And this is the side in Groovi speak that we talk about. This is the side we work on. So if, for example, I were going to take, let's just take a piece of copy paper so you can see it better. Right, you'll see that this side is dull and this side is bright. So this is the side that I'm working on. And how do we get from that to that with all these highlights and drop shadows? Well, let's just take you through simple steps. First of all, we've got the outline. Then, for example, we build our work. Now, this work is actually constructed with a Groovi plate on the back. So you see it's embedded or embossed on the Groovi plate. And what that does is it means it ensures that the line art still stays white despite the fact that the color is on the parchment. So let's go back to this one and let's have a look. And you'll see there's a lot of white going on, but it's actually not embossed. The simplest way to explain how this works, let's take this one now. We've added the words in too. And let's just show you how to create the highlights. Enter an eraser pencil. The thing about designer parchment is it's all the colour is on the back. So that means that if I were to take one of our Faber-Castell, the white end, not the pink end, the white end is the end for eliminating ink. So let me show you, for example, difficult to see it here. Let me take that away. And now you can see exactly, if I want to, for example, take out colour, I can take it out. I'm just show you what I mean. If you look here, you see the white here. All I'm doing is eliminating it on the back. So I just wanted to show you really how easy this is. It's not going to be a full-blown demo. It's just showing you, see, take the colour out there. Then when you turn it over, just put some white in behind so you can see it. And you'll see exactly how we got the drop shadow. And also on the border here, you just have to decide what side are you putting the drop shadow on. And then once you've decided that, you just rub out the areas as you fancy them, and you'll soon get a really amazing 3-dimensional effect. You see? Now the pink rubber, let me just say, if I wanted to soften that edge, the pink will take the colour out, but really gently. So to get a kind of a lovely blend, you just take out a bit more and it will just soften the edge a bit. Let me show you. Now when I take that turn that over, you'll see how easy it is to add. Yeah? So that in effect is how you add the white. See down here, see how it's lighter? So there's a contrast between this area and this area. Well, let's use the pink one to do that. Again, I'm working on a black surface because what you'll find is that's a lot easier. I just think that at half price, this is great. Right, let me just show you. You know, these are like 48 beautiful sheets of designer parchment. Normally an A4 sheet of coloured parchment costs £1. So in effect, that would run you see how you can get the mist? That would run you for £1, 48 sheets. You're looking at least £40. And I think at the moment, these are like £12 each. You know, there's never been a better time. Plus your discounts, your craft club discount. That's pretty good, you know. See? And what we're doing is with the pink eraser, we're just lightly taking out like a little bit of mist. Let me show you. See? Isn't that superb? Now, if I want to introduce, I want to introduce colour here. So the best way to introduce colour is to take out the colour in the background first, top tip. Take the colour out in the background first, like that. So now my trees are white. You notice I used the white rubber, the white eraser to do that. So if I just run that through again, right? Okay, so now I've done that. Let's just check. I'm happy. I quite like it in white. But let's say I want to change the colour. It's always best to take the colour out before you reintroduce the colour. This is the same on any coloured parchment. Now let's say I want to add a bit of yellowy green to this. So I'm using my Perga colours. Okay, this is just a short, snappy little demo to show you the benefits of these fabulous designer papers. They're like instant colour. They're so nice to use. So I'm working on the back. I've added the colour. I'll turn it round and you'll see now I'm getting a really bright, vibrant colour because I took out the darker turquoise in the back before I started. So that's how it works on, for example, on parchment. But that doesn't mean that you only can use it with Groovi plates. I use this a lot with stamped work. So for example, let me show you. You'll recognize the ginkgo. So now this ginkgo has been stamped. This is a large ginkgo onto the Shenandoah paper. Look. So I stamped a beautiful verse. I stamped the ginkgo. And once again, I turn it over. See, and the best thing about this is when you turn it over, see, even in the real darker areas, now it's stamped. But of course, I'm not going anywhere near the ink because the ink, my friends, is on this side. So what ink do you use to stamp? Black archival. You definitely want a black archival and let it dry. But you can see even in the darkest areas like here, let me turn this over. So the ginkgo leaf isn't showing very well there, right? But when I turn it over and I take out the colour in the background, it pops. There you go. And I haven't got to actually do any white work. I mean, I could if I wanted to. I could take my parchment, my parchment art, because it's still parchment, don't forget. And I could turn this over and working on the back, I could take my ball tools from my starter kit. Of course I can. And if I wanted to add a highlight, I could start. I've got a bit of plastic on the soft side of the mat just to give me a little bit more. See, and I'm working on the back. And if I wanted to, I certainly can introduce white that way. Look, you see, I can get a real definition on there by using the ball tools, because parchment is what it is. It does stretch beautifully and it does work. And what's interesting is you'll see when I do this, when I turn it over, the white work, it doesn't affect, this is the great part of it. If I put white behind it, you'll see it doesn't affect the black line art. You see, the ink is always good on the front. So that's rather nice. And I want to show you one last example of stamping, which is also really pretty, but it's taking out the colour before you introduce colour again. So let's take, for example, this set of stamps. Really lovely now at this time of year, perfect. So these are our garden bird stamps in conjunction with a cherry blossom. Beautiful set clarity stamps. So let's have a look. If I want to, I can stamp. Now let's have a look. So I've stamped this onto, this is Indian Summer designer paper. And again, I've stamped it onto, let me turn that over, onto the dull side, onto the front. So when I turn it over here, you know that the ink is on this side. But let's say, for example, let's just take this one here that I've already done. You can see the blue tit, of course, has got a blue cap and a yellow belly. So it'd be very difficult to get blue and yellow out of this green bird because that's where it happens to sit. So exactly as I explained before. And also, let me just show you. This little bird is this little bird here. And this lovely cherry blossom that I drew is this little cherry blossom here. So it's literally stamped and then stamped again. And you can see on this one that I'm able to combine stamps and Groovi, which I really like too. So if we've stamped this onto the front, onto the dull side, you know now if we want to change the colour of the bird and the branch, we need to turn it over and we need to be working on a hard surface. So I'm going to take my white eraser pencil and I'm going to eliminate the colour. See, this is all I've got to do. And I don't have to be too careful. Look, I don't have to worry because the ink, the line art, if you will, is on the back of the designer parchment. So these eraser pencils are available on our website too, as are the designer parchment pads at half price. And they will be half price until next Monday when our next highlight half price offer comes into play. So you can see now how you can take out colour. It's really lovely. And then you can reintroduce it. So I've just sharpened that to get into that tail there. And it's lovely. And if I want to take out the colour in the trunk before I put a lighter brown in, I can do that. I don't have to take it out completely. If I want to take a bit of colour out of the leaf, I can do that. So it's a good idea to take colour out before you put it back in again. See? And it's really easy. This is unique to us. This kind of parchment is unique to us. We've saturated only one side, which works best, and you can see how quickly and easily you can start bringing the picture to life. Once I've got this, then the next thing I want to do is introduce colour, and I can use my pencils too. So let me, for example, if I want to put blue on his cap, I can take the blue blending pencil. I'll take that blue. I'll maybe take the light blue. Let's take a little bit of yellow. Let's see. Got the yellow there. Right. So I've got my three. Again, I'm going to go to the back to add my colour. And all I'll do now is just introduce the cap. There we go. A little bit of blue on there. There you go. And maybe some yellow just down on his tummy. See? You don't have to worry too much about colour application. There you go. And the other thing is, if you do this and then you don't like it, So you've done the colour and you think, no, I'm not keen on that. I think I shouldn't have done that yellow. Well, then you know what? You just take it away. There you go. Just lift it off again. If you feel you didn't get the right yellow, or you want to tone it down a little bit, or you shouldn't have blended it with the green, look, here you go, look, gone. That easy. So it's up to you how much colour you use, whether you blend it or you don't blend it, whether you want blue in his tail or green. There you go. It's very, very, very easy to do, very effective. And the price on this parchment is actually quite amazing. When you turn it over, you'll see, let me show you on this camera, it's very, very pretty. There, subtle. So that's how it works, my friends. And I hope that you enjoyed that little demo. As I say, design a parchment, very useful, and not just for parchers. I've been stamping on parchment for many, many years, and I love the benefits of it. So there's never been a better time to have a look. So head on over to our website, claritystamp.com, and check out the parchment. In fact, our friend Stuart's probably put the link in for you. Thanks very much for joining me. I'll see you again. Bye-bye now.